Now, Finlay, Steve Regal make it. Why doesn't a David Taylor make it?
I couldn't tell you why. I can tell you that I love Dave Taylor. He's my trainer in Deep South. He's an odd case in the sense that, like, when the red light's on, he's just this wrestler guy. When it's off, he is one of the funniest, most charismatic, awesome, like, coolest guy to be around, you know, great storyteller. So Zach and I got, like, really close to him. We were around him a lot, you know, and he's just a hoot. Some of my fondest memories are getting to the arena and just going up to the stands with a cup of coffee and sitting there with him and bullshitting and just, you know, he's a great dude. He was awesome. I don't know what, maybe they thought he was too old and not at the over level that the Finlay and the Regals are, the established, like, you know, brand that those guys were. So I don't know. I actually, you want to hear a funny story about that? Yeah. Don't quote me this. I want to say Dave Taylor and Balls Mahoney were let go on the same day. And we were in catering. Zach and I were eating, and Johnny Ace just happens to be at the table like a Jason was, and he's talking to someone about something. He's like, I don't know, man, I got a lot of stuff to do today. I gotta fire balls. So like we knew it was coming. It was just so like nonchalant like that it was funny.
I can't believe you throw it out there like that.
Like, I don't know. He did, but he didn't. Like, you know, we weren't at the table, but we were like close enough to hear that he was just casually just, oh yeah, and I gotta fire balls. And I was like,
adding to the sensitivity of John Laurinaitis,
I thought that was
his
awesome.
Reputation in the business. When a large group of people get cut, is there that shockwave of fear that goes through the locker room, or is everyone kind of accepting of my number will eventually come up?
I think when it happens, so there's not fear. It's fear. It's like relief. Oh, it wasn't me. It was the first thing. The other thing is, like, you just become like numb to it. I've saw so many people get fired in my 8.5 years. You know, you just become. I mean, Domino was my buddy, and we'd ride with him and stuff. And I was like, oh, that sucks. And you know, you talk to him, and you know, it is what it is. But when you step back and look at it, everyone's going to get fired at some point, right? No matter what. So,
did the top guys call guys that were cut? And
I think it's just a personal relationship.
If you have a
there's certain guys that got let go, and I spoke to immediately, and there's people let go, and I haven't spoke to since. You know, so I'm just like.
Would a locker room leader like Undertaker feel it his position to call and say, "Listen, you think you did a great job"?
I couldn't picture that.
No, okay.
That just seems like too soft. Like, that's not something he would do.
Right.
Yeah.
Too badass.
Yeah, I really do think. Yeah.
All right.
Not to mention when guys got let go in his era, they had another place to go, you know. That's a big difference. So like, I'm sure he's not accustomed to that, and it's just a strange. That's not an old school thing to do by any means.
Is it bad policy? Does it send a bad message? Is it corporate irresponsibility when you let a bunch of workers go on the same day that you announced the addition of 3 board member spots with corresponding salaries?
I think you scratch your head about it and wonder if there's more to it, but that's. What else can you do? I got a funny story about that. I didn't have like a lot of interaction with him, but like I said at the time, I was riding with Kendrick, and that particular loop, he goes, "You mind if Crazy hops in with us?" And I'm like, you know, ECW fanboy, like, fuck yeah, cool. And he was always nice, you know, it's cool. So we hung with him the whole weekend. I think we went out like drinking one night too, like did the whole loop with them. Then we get to TV and I see Brian and I'm like, oh, where's Crazy going? He's like, oh, he's going to quit. I'm like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, he's going to tell Johnny he really just can't afford to work here anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he just quit like that. Which I can see, like, you know, he's coming from Mexico. He's doing that travel every week. If you're just going to TVs, you're getting that $500 a shot. That's it. You know,
so it was a financial thing. I had heard that he was promised some stuff that never came to fruition. Maybe that a little bit.
I'm sure that's true too, but that was like a couple of years prior where he beat Masters like a couple weeks in a row on Raw, and it looked like something was going to happen, but I couldn't tell you how that all went to shit. But I just remember that being funny. He's like, oh yeah, he said he can't afford to work anymore. We're like, aren't we fucking supposed to be superstars? Yeah.
Johnny Ace Laurinaitis, before he becomes the TV character, he's the Grim Reaper, so he's kind of the designated bad guy.
Of course.
With this stuff. How did you find him to be?
Like you said, he's doing the dirty work, so that's just a shitty job. No one wants that. So from that regard, I always understood his job. You know, it wasn't personal, but to me and Zach, he was always pretty cool. Like we never had any like. I don't have a bad thing to say about him. He was always cool, and he was really cool. Like my last year when he stepped down and just became a producer, and he was so like it looked like just a weight had been lifted, and he was just like kind of like fun loving, and like I liked being around him after that. You know, I used to kind of avoid him because I felt like any news from Johnny is just going to be bad news.
Right.
And then you know he was always cool.
Did he get along with the locker room, or is he prone to heat?
He was a little heat magnet, I'd say. He's just not because he was a dick. He's just one of those certain people. I think you just think they're a dick. And they just have that persona until you really talk to them. So I think that was his big problem. I thought he was so fucking talented. I don't know. Like, I don't know if it was his fault or what. I don't know. But I just always thought there was a world of potential there. I don't know. They should have capitalized on.
What are some of the things that you might do behind the scenes that will quickly get you heat with higher ups?
It could be anything, man. It really could be anything. One little thing to rub someone wrong, and then that trickles, and especially if the person's over. You know what I mean? There could be a guy that everyone loves, and then you know someone who's fucking high up says, "Oh, he's the shits," and now everyone thinks he's the shits. You know, like it could be any little thing. You know.
Yeah, it is said that one of those little ripple effect things, Vince was overheard saying the comment, quote, "He's got a swimmer's body." And that kind of
I've never heard that.
Floated through the
I've never heard that till now. But
Okay.
Weird shit like that happens, so I'm sure it
And he's always branded the guy with the swimmer's body, because that's what Vince said one day. And
I mean, I do remember that time he switched to like trunks or something, so I don't know. But like what? He's a swimmer's body. They'll never make like money with him. Like
maybe slimmer. Maybe
it doesn't mean it's just a dumb reason to
Vince
give
likes,
up on somebody. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
If it's true,
If it's
I
true.
never heard that till right now.